It's always good to hear.
Welcome to Chicagoland for the 11th round of the Western States Racing League. My name is Sam Cooper Bennett, back to you for the first time since Friday. Not had the best couple of days, but I'm back on top of things now and I'm ready to get going and get some racing called here for this round here at Chicagoland here in Illinois. And it's always good to come back to the Windy City, especially under the lights. Isn't that right, Frank?
Yes, it is, and I'm very happy to have my partner back here this weekend. So some of the technical issues that we had to deal with last week, we won't be dealing with this week. But yes, Chicagoland is a very fun, it is a very difficult track to get the hang of. These tires are going to drop off a lot sooner than you may think around this place. And we've seen, especially last week, we only had one caution last week at the Milwaukee Mile. We know who can save tires and who has trouble with it, and it's going to be shown doubly here tonight.
Absolutely is. We're looking down on the track. We've got 26 drivers set to race here tonight, and it's going to be a pretty interesting run here tonight. We've got a lot of former race winners. Let's go do a bit of a recap of last week's race. You were the one in the booth for that one there, Frank. Just give the guys a quick recap of what happened last week.
Yeah, last week, I mean, we have a history here on ESPN where races at the Milwaukee Mile really are not the greatest races. But last week was what we expected, especially out of Western States. Only had one caution. It came down to the last 10 laps. It came down to a pit decision. The entire field came in except for the number 4, Brian Barnes, who still leads the championship, by the way. Barnes got swallowed up on the restart. Bentley Glazer had enough of a run to get out in front and was able to hold on. Bentley was very, very good from the middle portion, catching up to, I believe it was Jeff Schmeier, if I remember correctly, and then then taking the lead and then running away in the second half of that race. So very strong car, very good race, and especially for the Milwaukee Mile, 170 some odd laps, if I remember correctly last week, for only one caution, just really shows how good these guys are.
Qualifying underway now for the guys out on track. 10 minutes of qualifying there. I believe they have 2 laps to get it done. And the first man out of pit road is the winner from Texas. That is Marty Ray. Usually pretty good on the bigger tracks here. What do you reckon he can do here tonight?
I think he's going to have a solid run. He put down a 30.5 in practice. He was up there in the top 5 in practice. So these super speedways, these mile and a halves, if he can find himself in a good position at the end of this race, I think he does have a shot.
Yeah, as he comes down through the backstretch, the Brandt backstretch, as he starts his first flying lap, and he's obviously in the purple, seeing as he's the first driver to put a time down here, and he's keeping a very low to middle line, coming through the corners, going high on the exit, then low through the tri-oval. As he crosses the line, puts his first time down, and that will be a 31.048. Wayne Hutchison going straight in second with a 31.618 as Kevin Thrift goes to the top of the board in that Jack Daniels number 66.
Yeah, and if I remember now, I think it was 150 laps last week because Kevin Thrift tried to make that race last week on only one pit stop, and he would have done it too if it wasn't for that last caution. So watch for that 66 here tonight. He does have a good car.
David Wood slotting into second place there, as there goes Paul Hoffman in the number 3 Dale Senior tribute, just popping it in there with his 30.832. Marty Ray still holding on to the pole here. Well, actually, just took it back after his second lap. We've still got times coming. And let's go to a man that's won 2 races since we started broadcasting this, at least. Sean Signore on his way out of pit road.
Yes, he is, as top 3 remain the same after the second lap. David Woods goes to a 39.21. Hoffman improves his time, does not improve his time, so he will be in second. But you're right, Sean Signore has been very, very dominant. I believe he won the first race at North Wilkesboro when we first got to the Western States League. He won at Iowa as well. Would have won at Texas, but remember, he had that connection issue and ended up throughputting. So we know Signore is quick, and he does have a very legitimate chance to win here tonight.
Yeah, Carl Burke having a good run in qualifying so far. He is up into P4 with a 30.863, so he will be pretty happy with that, I should think, as Sean Signore completely ruins that party and moves his way up to third place. Probably not where he wants to be at this moment, but still going to be happy to be on that second row, at least anyway, as he comes down through the backstretch.
Still a top 5 for Carl Burke, so he can be happy with that. But as Signore makes his way through 3 and 4 here, I think he's going to top Marty Ray. It just his car looks a lot more in control than Ray's. Takes it all the way down to the infield grass and proves me wrong. Does not improve his time. Almost runs identical lap times to laps 1 and 2, but Sean Signore P3.
Charles Woods out on track there as he comes through the tri-oval there. He's going to put another time down, put his first time down here, and that would be good enough for P11. Had a pretty nasty bump in practice there. We're just glad this is a simulator so we can actually come back out and qualify.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I think Marty Ray and Woods could have changed sponsors because he took off like the SpaceX did during that practice session. But coming through 3 and 4, going to try to make his way into the top 10. He ran a 30.5 in practice, and he's going to better his time. He'll get up to P9, but still about a half a second off of what he ran in practice. So Charles Woods not getting the most out of that number 40 Postal Service Chevrolet.
As we're looking at Bob Beltrami, he's just starting his qualifying run now, as he will be looking to try and close that 15-point gap on Brian Barnes, as Barnes still holding on to the points lead despite the bad luck he's been getting the last few weeks. So he can't. Barnes needs to kind of up his game a bit here tonight, because he's going to get caught otherwise.
Yeah, we've done what, 6-7 races here for Western States, and we've seen Beltrami's been competitive in every single one of them, running in the top 5 every single week, as he puts it to second place right here on his first lap. So yeah, Barnes does have a little bit of stepping up to do. He holds that points lead, probably gained a couple of points last week with the pit strategy he used at the end of the race. But still, that 14 of Beltrami has been there every single week.
Yeah, as Beltrami coming through the tri-oval again, he goes down to the apron, which you're allowed to do, and he puts in a 30.817, and that puts him up to second place. Great time there for the man in second place.
Yeah, improves his time, but not his position. Does the 14 of Beltrami, so he will stay in second. Trying to see if last week's winner, Bentley Glazer, is not on track. Schmeier is at the end of pit lane. Wayne Fleet is not out. Barnes, no. Kelman, no. William Fletcher in that number 28 Haviland Ford is on track right now. About to take the green flag here for his first lap.
As there goes Jeff Hollingsworth up to second place. He looked like he was on a fast one there, as he will be on the front row for now at least, as we look at Jeff Schmeier out on track now in that number 22 Laughing Skull Machine. That's a new paint scheme for him, as he abandons his qualifying run.
I think he might have hit the wall coming into 3, and he's going to go out again here for another run. But yeah, it might be a different sponsor, but it's a similar looking car to what we've seen over the last couple of weeks, but still a nice paint scheme nonetheless.
William Fletcher dropping into P18 in that Haviland number 28, as he's on his second flying lap now, so let's see if he can improve on that in that Ford F-150. And I can't quite see who
that might have been his second lap. Oh, no, he is on his second. He's coming to the line now. This is for his second, and he will go
straight to second place. Wow.
Ow, what a run from Fletcher. My goodness. And in a tie with Jeff Hollingsworth. They ran the same exact time, a 7:96.
And I think they're going off alphabetical order if they go to a tie, because you see Fletcher, Hollingsworth, alphabetical, all that good stuff.
True, it might also go off of... My first thought was it going off of car number.
Or practice times? I don't know.
No, Hollingsworth beat Fletcher out in practice.
Schmeier goes up to second as well now, saying the exact same time as Marty Ray. Wow. You don't see that very often.
You know, it's actually 1,000th off if my timing and scoring is right. As here he comes going through 3 and 4.
Let's see if he's going to improve on that. It's going to be a big ask. But if anybody can get the pole, it's going to be Schmeier. And as he crosses the line, he's slow. No, he's slower.
He did not.
No. Oh, wow. Wayne Fleet out on track as well now.
It's the 1/1000th of a second in it between pole and second place. Third and fourth tied. You think this is going to be a good one tonight?
It might be. Kevin Thrift and Dennis Fuson are only separated by 1/1000th as well. Didn't mention Fuson, actually. I apologise to the 11. As here comes Wayne Fleet coming out of turn 4, down through the tri-oval, down on the apron, as is customary. Set to 30.995, goes into P18, and that will be it for him, for his qualifying effort. So 22 drivers have taken time so far. We're waiting for... Actually, we've got 27 here tonight, I've noticed.
Yes,
another one snuck in at the last minute. I think it was Nick Kuhn, was it? No.
I'm not sure who it was. I know we do have 26 right now because Dan Stussy has throughputed. Now, Stussy qualified in 17th in the number 78. So we'll see if he can get back in here. But right now, with 10 seconds left in the qualifying session, Dan Stussy has throughputed and is not here at the moment. Oh, here he comes. Just reconnected. As the qualifying session comes to a close, it'll be Marty Ray.
Yeah, wow.
The winner from Texas taking the pole.
By the absolute slimmest of margins.
Yeah, you can't get much closer than that now, can you?
Not really. As we are going to go to the grid for this one. So starting up on the pole, and when it starts to figure itself out, and I'm going to take the timing tower down because we don't need that anymore. Marty Ray on the pole. He'll be joined on the front row by Jeff Schmeier. Row 2 will be William Fletcher and Jeff Hollingsworth setting the exact same time. Bob Beltrami and Paul Hoffman will make up row 3. Row 4 will be Sean Signore and Kevin Thrift. Row 5 will be Dennis Fuson and Carl Burke. Row 6 will be Rob Gull and Wayne Hutchison, Frank.
Yep, row 7 will be Barry Phil and Nick Kuhn. Row 8, Charles Woods and David Wood. Row 9 will be Dan Stussy, who has returned, and Wayne Fleet. Row 10 will be Earl Weaver and Jerry Sterner, I believe that is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is, Sterner. Row 11 will be David Weaver and Dustin Burns. And Dustin Burns was the last one to set a time. 23rd through 27th will be Brian Barnes, Bentley Glazer, Ray Fournier, Keith Kelman, and Eric Woods. None of those drivers set times in qualifying.
So we are set to go here at Chicagoland, and it's going to be a fun one here tonight. Make sure you get yourselves strapped in. 107 laps of what is sure to be going to be absolutely fantastic racing here, Frank. I'm actually looking forward to this one.
I am, and there are a couple of guys that I've seen here tonight. Jeff Hollingsworth, Bentley Glazer, guys that ran in the Paskey Series at Kentucky last night. Now, granted, that's in the Xfinity car. And we're
Kansas, you're trying to forget it already.
What did I say?
Kentucky.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, Kansas. Yeah, Jeff Hollingsworth, Bentley Glazer drove at Kansas last night, a very similar racetrack to this. Hollingsworth actually coming out with a win last night in the Passke Series. So those guys have some practice here in a track at this style, not necessarily this exact track, but a track of this very similar style. And yes, I am trying to forget my race last night.
Yeah, he wanted to be like Dorothy and have a tornado take him away from Kansas and the land of Oz. Anyway.
I think after the 10th time I hit the wall last night, I wanted anything to take me away from Kansas.
Yeah, you wanted to be Dorothy. Anyway, Marty Ray on the inside. Who
says I'm not?
Well,
you know.
Marty Ray on the inside, Jeff Schweier on the outside. Make sure you strap those belts tight. Get your popcorn, get your drink, get yourself ready. 107 laps are underway here. Green flag in the air, and we are racing here live with the Western States Racing League at Chicagoland as they make their way towards turn 1.
Marty Ray able to hold that lead, running about a half a lane off that inside line. Oh, getting awfully close to the 22 of Schmeier. That allows William Fletcher in the 28 to take a look to the inside. Can he possibly dive? He will not.
And Marty Ray able to hold on through turns 3 and 4 as well, getting a very deep line. And caution! No, we're not going to have a caution. Everybody keeps it straight, amazingly. There goes Hutchinson going around, and we will have a caution already at the end of lap 1. And they almost went caution-free last week, and it didn't take very long this time.
Yeah, unfortunately it did not. But the three of Paul Hoffman, that's just a case of trying to push a little bit too hard on old tires. And the outside line here, unlike Kansas, that is not the groove on that outside lane, and just couldn't get that car to bite. Hits Fuson. Carl Burke got involved. I believe that was the 21 you said got involved as well.
Yeah.
Of Wayne Hutchinson. Yeah, just a mess here early.
As we're going to try... my replays aren't doing the best right now, so I'm going to have to do the old school way. Just rewind.
You are on SDK, yes, tonight?
Yeah. I don't know why.
Yeah, that's... SDK, it's one of the... Obviously, it's one of our graphics.
Oh.
It's one of our graphic overlays that we use. The other one is ATVO, if anyone knows that one. But SDK just recently had an update, and it kind of messed with some of the stuff, as you might have seen last week during the Western States race or for the Top Fuel race on Wednesday night. Just some of the replays weren't queuing properly, thanks to that update.
Yeah, as we go back live, we got two of the biggest affected in that wreck, Wayne Hutchinson and Carl Burke in pit road. They do have fast repairs in this. I believe they only have one. So Hutchinson...
Yes.
So Hutchinson has already used his fast repair. Carl Burke will have used his. And I'm pretty sure Paul Hoffman will use his as well. And he has. So they've got to really be careful for the remainder of this race now.
Yeah, they do. And I mean, I've completely forgot we had one in Paskey's last week, and I used it when I didn't want to on that first pit stop last night. But yes, one fast repair here tonight, unlimited tire sets. This is not like some of the leagues that we broadcast where they have a fuel limit as to how much you can fill the car. That is not the case here. You can fill it all the way to the brim here tonight, and unlimited tire sets as well.
Yep, as I decided to start my paint application instead of clicking to another application, but never mind. That's just me being a bit rusty. But anyway, or a bit of an Egypt, but never mind. Marty Ray leading. Jeff Schmeier falling back to third at the end of that first lap before the caution came out. Now, that is Not the best of starts there for the man in the 22. Bob Beltrami in P4. Now, that is significant because the man who's chasing for the points lead is all the way back down in P21 because he did not qualify here, Frank.
Yeah, Barnes in the 4. We know he can move up. We've seen him have very good trucks. We've seen him be able to race well. So I would not be surprised if we saw him up. He's probably going to use a little bit of pit strategy like he did last week in Milwaukee to get himself up there. But as far as Schmeier in the 22 goes, that's just a product of starting on the outside lane, the caution coming out in the middle of a turn. Sometimes you just end up sliding a little bit behind the guy on that inside lane, and doesn't necessarily help that William Fletcher had a great run down the back going into turn 3 as well.
Josh Schmeier, one of the only 6 Toyotas in this 27 truck field, making that 26 now because I believe Carl Burke is calling it a night here. He's not come back out of pit road for a good while. And as the pace car is off, we're going green again as Marty Ray hits the loud pedal, and they're starting to single file this time. This is unusual.
Yeah, I was not expecting that. That's why I didn't think they were going back to green here, but a nice jump from the top 3, and I believe Beltrami is under fire from Signore. As a matter of fact, he's gotten passed by Signore.
Yeah, Beltrami not having the best of restarts there as we're going to have a bit of a cleaner run going into turn 3 there. And William Fletcher in second place looking to the back of Marty Ray, but Ray able to hold on, and Schmeier right there as well. Not letting these two get away. They've already started getting away from Signore, by the way.
Yeah, they have. That was that big jump on that restart that the top 3 got, and you can run this track in these cars very similar to the way you would run an Indy car around here. You want to run about a half a lane to a lane up off the bottom. Try to save those tires as much as you can because they're going to fall off rapidly as the run goes on.
Now, as I don't know why it's doing that. No.
That Sam's also trying to get reacquainted with SDK. Sam's also trying to get reacquainted with SDK because he's been using ATVO so often here lately. As Marty Ray putting a defense on William Fletcher in the 28. And Sam, I'm sure you've seen that second group is caught right back up as Signore is going for third.
Yeah, they've all bunched up in that 2x2. You got Signore, you got Hollingsworth now, who's got around Beltrami. Dennis Fuson is up there as well. Rob Gall has caught up.
Fletcher for the lead.
Yeah, Fletcher for the inside as they come out of turn 2. Now the problem this might work in Fletcher's favour because, as you probably know, as most of you seasoned race fans know, the backstretch is not straight, it's a curve. So that kind of works on the drivers, the driver that's on the inside, it works in their favour, so to speak. But that outside line eventually does come into play as well, though.
It does. It helps you get as, wow, Fletcher got really loose. And here comes Signore trying to split the middle. And here comes Hollingsworth making it 4 wide.
Bit early to be putting on the major moves. There's a 3 wide for third place. This could end in tears if they don't get it right. But I have faith in those 3 drivers as they all get it figured out very quickly. And Hollingsworth able to be the biggest winner out of that one as he's going to move his way up to third place if he can get his way around William Fletcher. Sean Signore up to second now, challenging for the lead as they come flying out of turn 2 here, Frank.
Yeah, that 28 got really loose going into turn 1, allowed Signore to get right up to the back of him. Signore fighting for the lead, but they go 4 wide on what was that lap 10, and all of them live to tell the tale. Incredible driving as here comes Hollingsworth going for second.
Second nothing. I think he's going to go for the lead because Signore put the block on at the wrong time, and that's let Hollingsworth in.
I'm surprised that Signore would let off the bottom like that, especially with a guy as quick as Hollingsworth following him. And here's Fletcher. He's not letting it go.
And we're 3 wide for the lead. Contact between Signore and Marty Ray.
What
Ray
a save.
Wow.
Incredible save from Marty Ray. My goodness.
He's going to lose a few spots out of that, but I'd rather lose a few spots than lose the race altogether.
Yeah, and he does have that fast repair in his pocket, though, as Signore goes from first to third in about a half a lap.
Yeah, because look who's back again. William Fletcher didn't let that loose moment get to him. He's got right back up there, got his head down and got that second place back again. But that's left Hollingsworth out in front now. He's on a pretty big confidence boost after his win in Paskies yesterday. Is he going to try and emulate that again? We'll find out.
Going 3 wide.
Yeah, he's... that number 11 is looking fast.
Yeah, caution is out.
Oh.
In the back somewhere.
It's Jerry Sterner. Oh!
Oh, no, 7 just caught a bit of it as well.
So, in true SDK fashion, we're going to do the replay like this again, because why the hell not?
We do apologize. It's not normally the way we do this, and you guys know that.
Weaver got into the side of him in the 46. Earl Weaver. And, oh! Dustin Burns got a big piece of that as well.
Yeah, he did. 16 of David Weaver just missing it. Ooh, a hard hit.
Yeah, that...
304. Fournier caught some wall. And did you notice who ended up making his way through that wreck?
Bentley Glazer.
Well, yes, but also the points leader, the number 4, Brian Barnes, was behind that wreck as well and made it through.
Yeah, you see him right there in the number 4, the points leader of Brian Barnes. He is in P20 now. Now, Carl Burke and Dan Stussy, I'm guessing Stussy must have had another throughput. Yeah.
Yep.
And he's still out of the session, so unfortunate for him. As yeah, that's very unfortunate for him. But Carl Burke will be now 1 lap down after getting the lucky dog. As it looks like everybody's in pit road now, Frank.
Yes, they are. I believe Carl Burke just straight fast repaired. Did not use his fast repair. I think he just straight repaired his car.
That's understandable.
Yeah. Looking at this pit road camera here, it doesn't look like any damage on the 65. As Hollingsworth is going to win the race off of pit road. Look who else is up there. Rob Gall's up there. There's the 40. Oh boy, a bad pit stop for the 22 of Jeff Schmeier.
Yeah, a lot of the 65 of Marty Ray. He had a bit of a fender rub with Sean Signore. Now, I'm not sure why they didn't get any damage, how he didn't get any damage from that, because that was a pretty hefty rub to put him sideways.
It wasn't. It does not take all that much to get these cars or trucks to brake sideways. So I'm honestly not surprised. I mean, in real life, there'd be a fender sticking in somewhere, but in this, I'm not surprised.
As we're taking a look through the field here, we're currently on Barry Phil in the 99 Mobil 1 machine, just behind Jeff Schmeier, who's had a very poor pit stop and has dropped back to P11 there, Frank.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Schmeier, I believe he was... I think he actually might have gained, because if I remember seeing my timing and scoring right, I think he was in 12th, which I'm not sure how he got so far back after restarting in 3rd on that restart. So I'm surprised he's that far back.
Well, there was a lot of shuffling going on, and Bob Eltrami found himself back there as well. He's back in P10 now. And look who's up into the top 10 after starting at the back.
That would be Bentley Glazer. Started 24th up to 9th in that 87.
Yeah, as it looks like we're about to go back to green here, so let's go back to the lead pack here. And we're not, because the lights are still on the pace car, so that made a liar out of me.
Is another guy who we saw up at the front a lot last week at Milwaukee is that number 19 Skoll Chevrolet of Nick Kuhn. He was up at the front. He was running in the top 5 a lot last week at Milwaukee, I believe, finished either just inside or just outside the top 5, if I remember correctly last week. Nice to see him having another great run here.
Now, anybody that knows me knows that I appreciate a nice classic paint scheme, and that skull paint scheme is absolutely on point. I love that paint scheme.
Yes, it is. And I'm starting to think that first restart was a glitch, because we are double file here, ready to go.
Yep, that means you get to get us going again this time.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
As Signore taking it to the apron there.
And Fletcher going very high up to the wall, so he does realise this is not a single file restart this time, right?
They weren't up near the wall on the single file restart, so I'm not sure.
I race Indy cars too much. It's just my thing.
Well, it was the thing for the Cup cars and the trucks when they were doing it as well. So trying to get as good a view of the restart as he possibly can for Fletcher. There goes Hollingsworth. And for the third time, we are racing here at Chicago.
Now, as we fly off in towards turn 1, Hollingsworth out of the way cleanly. Look at Dennis Fuson up to second place. Great restart for him. Not wasting any time in getting up there, as Signore falling back to P5. And here comes Rob Gall as well.
Yeah, Rob Gall was another one that was coming up under that last green flag run. And here Fuson hit the apron bad going into turn 3 and forced Hollingsworth up the hill. And Fuson's going to have to regroup, but he entered way too low going into 3. Surprised that wasn't a wreck.
Yeah, and he's backed out of it a little bit, almost into the side of Marty Ray, though, coming back up on the track there, right in front of Bentley Glazer. Not Bentley Glazer, that's Charles Woods. As caution is out again.
Is out. I think it would have to be something in the back of the fields here. Is the 16 of David Weaver. I think he looks a little bit the worse for wear. Yep, it was the 16. Racing side by side with Earl Weaver. Earl cut down on the 16. 16 had nowhere to go but to run into the back of him. The 66 and the 16 both ended up at the wall right before the tri-oval. And there was also another incident further behind that, as Jerry Steiner and the 4 of Brian Barnes had a coming together coming off of turn 4. Fortunately for them, neither one of them in the wall.
We're just going to look at the incident between the two Weavers. And it's exactly the same situation as what happened with Earl Weaver and Jerry Sterner. David Weaver just drifted up the track and right into the back of Earl Weaver. So that is what caused that one, as we're under our 3rd caution already. And who'd have thought that one, after only having 1 caution last week, we are now on our 3rd one already as we're here in Chicago.
And a couple different things could play into that. The fact that this track is a little bit wider, and we've seen the aggression has been there from these guys here tonight. So yes, I'm surprised that we've seen so many cautions with the talent in this field, but with the racing we've seen, I'm not surprised that we have had as many as we have, as we just saw Carl Burke getting the lucky dog as well.
Yeah, so Carl Burke back on the lead lap already. So he went 2 laps down, now finds himself back up there, and hopefully will challenge his way through the field. But with the way things are at the moment, they kind of need to tighten loosen those trucks up ever so slightly if they want to try and get around the corners when they're in such a tight pack like they are.
Yeah, just not a little bit, not too much. And going back to the incidents with Fuson there on the inside lane, you can, especially in turn 3, you can enter these turns a lot lower than you normally would be able to, and be able to hold the car. And it's because of that arch on the back straightaway that you could do that. But sometimes you get it just a little too wrong and you commit to the apron instead of the bottom lane. And that's what happened with Fuson there, almost wrecking into Hollingsworth and then doing the same thing again down the other end of the racetrack in turn 1, almost getting into Marty Ray.
Yep, as lights are still on the pace car. They're using a pace car this week. They usually have a pace truck, so that's unusual. Yeah. Bentley Glazer moving up another spot there. He's up into P8 now, so he's slowly but surely making his way through the field. He's displaced Nick Kuhn as Jeff Schmeier finally cracks himself back into the top 10. David Wood is in P12 now as... I still prefer that wood panel truck, David. I'm not sure about the Woods Brothers paint scheme. But that's just me.
That's Eric Woods that has the wood panel.
Oh, is it? Never mind. I take it all back. I take it all back. But he is making a play on his own name, running a Woods Brothers scheme. So
those two started. Oh, I thought. Never mind.
Eric Woods is back there in P18. Oh, there's the wood panel truck. Never mind.
There's the 85 of Eric Woods is the
It's
wood
made
panel.
it look like a station wagon.
Yes.
No, like the one from oh my god, National Lampoon's movies.
Yeah. Roll them up.
Yeah, there was one of those actually in Rocky Mountain Race Week this past week.
Oh, there you go.
They put an LS engine in it.
Oh dear God!
It was running 10 second passes every time.
It's the fastest a station wagon has ever gone, except to the dump.
Oh, it gets worse. During that event, they had a hearse there. What else did they have? They had an Escalade there with a LS twin turbo in it.
I mean, I've seen some stuff on a Twitch streamer goes to his local drag strip all the time. Yeah. So I've seen some pretty crazy stuff on there. But a hearse, you said?
A hearse, yeah.
All right. Well, I've heard everything now.
That was able to do 10-second passes as well. That's one thing that iRacing needs to bring to the service, and that's drag racing. I love that. I'm starting to get into drag racing.
You were going to say hearses.
No, not hearses. Drag racing. There goes the pace car anyway. We're ready to go racing once again as down past the line they go. Flagman going crazy as always as they go flying off towards turn 1. Jeff Hollingsworth able to hold on to the lead as here comes Rob Gall to the inside of William Fletcher as they come out of turn 2, and already Marty Ray moving his way up to third place as Fletcher running very wide out of turn 2, and here comes Sean Signori as well.
Yeah, now here comes Rob Gall for the lead with Marty Ray right behind him. And what Fletcher is doing is he's laying back, allowing himself to be able to see when Hollingsworth goes so he doesn't jump the start or doesn't get caught trying to jump the start, and Hollingsworth hasn't gone. So that he's setting himself back. Unfortunately, he's also set him back about 4 positions trying to do that.
Penalty for Eric Woods, jumping the restart there. He has to come in for I believe it's a 15 seconds hold, so big problems there for the 85, but we're going to go back to the racing action here as already Marty Ray up to second place. Problems for William Fletcher. He's being passed left, right and centre now. He's getting freight train and put to the back.
Yeah, it was because of that bad restart. He's just made a pass on Jeff Hollingsworth to get up to P4, but look who's there. Charles Woods in the 40 is sitting there in that U.S. Postal Service car, and that's what I was thinking of. Charles Woods and David Wood starting next to each other. So Wood and Woods in row 6. Row
so 8, it's Woods and Woods.
That wasn't that important. Anyway, there's a race for the lead.
As Marty Ray and Sean Signori side by side going into turn 1. That'd make a great company name, you know. Woods, Woods and Woods. Woods and Woods. Woods, Wood and Woods. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked as Marty Ray still leading this thing. Rob Gall moving up to second place now, looking on the outside of the 17 raw hemp materials machine. I won't go any further than that. Fletcher and Hollingsworth side by side as Charles Woods looking to move himself ahead of the 97. Charles Woods on a fly here. Jeff Hollingsworth falling from first to sixth now. Not the best restarts for him, as here comes Dennis Fuson as well as Bart Beltrami.
Yeah, I was just about to mention Beltrami. He's starting to work his way back up. Bentley Glazer's just kind of hanging out up there on that outside lane. Both of those guys ran in the Paskey Series at Kansas last night. As looking up at second place, boy oh boy, Signore and Rob Gall got close.
And Gall was able to take the position away. And like I said earlier, that outside line was coming into play. And I believe that was an outside pass that Gall made on Signore. Am I correct?
I think you're right, yes.
Yeah, so I do know my track evolution. Yeah,
sure. We'll go with that as the 66. That is Kevin Thrift getting lapped here by the field after being involved in that last wreck.
Yeah, Thrift, like you said, had a good race last week. Not having such a good time this time around in that Jack Daniels 66 Chevrolet. As Marty Ray still leads them coming out of turn 2. And the SpaceX machine doing ever so well to hold off everyone behind him. Wasn't so lucky in that last run, but seeing as we're getting a bit of a longer run this time by, and I'll probably jinx the field at this point, so get your hate mail coming. He's starting to looks like he's starting to stretch his legs a bit on the 31 a little, just a tiny bit.
Yeah, and that's the pole sitter right there up there in the 65 leading this race. But also that U.S. Postal Service Chevrolet of Charles Woods starting to make his way up, looking under Fletcher. That would be for the 4th position. Fuson hanging in there. Jeff Hollingsworth, unless he's just trying to hold on to the truck and save the tires, saw something he didn't like on that when that last set came off. He's kind of stalled out here towards the back end of the top 10.
Yeah. As we're going to go with Jeff Schmeier right here, and he's fallen back to P12 again behind David Wood. Earl Weaver, even though he's been in the wars here tonight, he's currently sitting P13, not too badly. And Wayne Hutchinson, after getting that big hit on the end of lap 1, already back up to P14. Carl Burke, already back up to P17, just running behind Barry Phil. Not too bad for the guys that were caught up in that pretty hefty wreck at the end of lap 1.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I noticed with Kevin Thrift is he did not take his fast repair. So whether or not he's saving it or he's already burned it after hitting the wall earlier, as we've had a lead change up at the front there. Now the 31 of Rob Gall has taken the lead. Signore trying to take it back as that 28 was almost in the wall in 3 and 4.
Now we're looking at the battle for first as we bring up the battle box for the first time here tonight, and we're going to take a look at the what am I looking at? Pit lap. You know the battle box better than I do, so
yes, again, like I said earlier in the broadcast, Sam is still trying to get used to SDK again. He's been using ATVO for so long now.
Yeah. I don't know anything. Anyway, look at Marty Ray falling backwards now. He's back to 3rd place, and he's got Charles Woods looking to try and get around him. Woods not very successful this time around. Dennis Fuson moving his way back up to the top 5. It looks like Hollingsworth has found his mojo again. He's still in P6, but he's sticking right with Fuson as they come through 3 and 4.
Yeah, Woods is looking racy tonight in that number 40. Because he's now putting a move on Rob Gall here for 3rd, trying to get the run. Can't get under Marty Ray, but I will say this. You said a second ago that you don't know anything. Well, that's wrong. You do know one thing.
What?
That you don't know anything.
I actually thought you were going to say something nice then, but never mind.
Sorry, bud.
Yeah. So, Marty Ray able to hold on to second, but Sean Signore, while they were battling behind him, able to get about 2 car lengths ahead of the 65. That can only work in his favour. And this track is such the way it is, you can actually pull away if you get a good enough run from the 2nd place leader. The 2nd place person, I don't know.
You definitely can, and also this is one of those tracks, as I mentioned at the top of the broadcast, where tires do come into effect here. They wear incredibly quick, especially if you're pushing the truck. And this big pack right here is about to experience that, and you're going to see who's been saving the tires and who's losing them, depending upon who moves through this pack and who starts falling back.
Carl Burke moving his way up to P14 now. He is absolutely flying through this field right now. And he's not had a chance to do that yet. And look, he's just having a good time with it. And look who he's bringing with him. Brian Barnes coming up the field with him as well.
Yeah, Barnes has slowly been moving up the field. I did notice that. But again, Carl Burke was involved in that wreck coming out of coming through 3 and 4 on that first lap. So this is a full-on recovery drive from him. Just got back on the lead lap with his last caution. I'm sure he's looking to show what that number 53 can really do.
Yeah, and he's looking at the back of Barry Phil right now as Bob Beltrami. I just saw that on my timing tower there. Just moving up ahead of Jeff Hollingsworth now. So Beltrami up to P5 now. Jeff Hollingsworth still in P6. One person that is dropping back is Rob Gall. He's back to P9 now and under pressure from David Wood now.
Yeah, and that's, I'm sure that's using the tires, but also David Wood moving up. And oh boy, there's Carl Burke back in the wall. There's the 4. Everyone keeps it straight. But I think it was the 21 of Wayne Hutchinson that got loose. Coming through 1 and 2. Oh, he got hit by the 99. That's a Barry Phil. He got run over from behind. Phil went into Burke. Burke slammed the wall hard and came down into the 4. The 4 does have some rear end damage, but everyone kept it straight. We stayed green.
Yeah, somehow we're staying green, but Carl Burke is going to bring a pit side to get some damage fixed again. Now, you said he might not have burned his fast repair. He might have had to do it this time. As now Marty Ray finds himself right on the back of the 17 as he comes through the travel.
And Carl Burke did use his fast repair before. You want to know how I know that?
How?
He just called it a night. So Carl Burke in the 53 is done for the evening.
And that's a shame. He had such a good run after getting back on the lead lap as well. So a shame for him. But Charles Woods up to 3rd place. Dennis Fuson into 4th. As Fuson having a few connection problems there. But Beltrami P5, Jeff Hollingsworth P6, Nick Kuhn up to P7. Where did that come from in that number 19?
If you watched last week's race, you know exactly where that came from. Nick Kuhn was doing a very good job of keeping pace with that front group last week, and he's doing the same exact thing again here this week, as here comes Marty Ray going for the lead on Sean Signore, who might have burnt those tires up trying to extend that lead as far as he did, and Charles Woods in the 40 looking to follow through.
Yeah, we've seen this before from Signore. Has a habit of burning the tires off early, but somehow is able to... Now, the thing about Signore is he's good on the short runs, but on the long runs he kind of fades a little bit. I'm guessing that's the right assessment.
That would be fair. And again, I've mentioned it 1,000 times before on these broadcasts. When you're in the lead of a group, you don't have a gauge as to how well you're saving your tires. When you're sitting behind people, you could tell, okay, I'm using them too much, or I could afford to use more tire. When you're leading a race, you don't have that frame of reference, so it's very easy to burn those tires up when you're in the lead of either the lead of the race or in the lead of the pack.
Now Woods up to 2nd place. He will be looking to the back of the 65 and Marty Ray try and get around him. They are coming up on Kevin Thrift again, I believe, so that's going to throw a little wrench in the works there as they come through 3 and 4. You see Signore side by side with Bob Beltrami, who's looking to move his way up to 3rd place now. So Signore really starting to struggle now as here comes Dennis Fuson as well. Beltrami will get that position done as they go into turn 1. And there it is. So Signore struggling as Beltrami hit the apron there. That's going to affect him a little bit. That's going to halt his march a little bit more.
Yeah, that slowed that group up. And also, while that was going on, Jeff Hollingsworth letting the 19 of Kuhn go by. So now Hollingsworth is trailing that group. And oh, there's Signore in the wall out of 4.
Big problems there for the 17 Raw machine. Into the wall, and you can see on the right side there, that is some significant damage on that Chevrolet.
Yeah, he hit that wall a ton and about to slide up into Kevin Thrift. But also look, this pack that was falling back, that was on the way, that was falling on by the wayside, is starting to slowly trickle its way back up to the lead pack. There's Schmeier who had fallen back. There's Bentley Glazer who had fallen back. The 27 of David Wood fell way back. He's starting to slowly catch up as well. And Rob Gall is there as well in the 31.
Yeah, for the first time tonight, Rob Gall dropping outside of the top 10. He's just ahead. He's a few car lengths ahead of Wayne Hutchison. So no problems there for the 31. But Gall, just like Signore, really struggling for long-run pace here at Chicagoland.
Yeah, we saw the same thing a couple of weeks ago back in Iowa. The same exact thing happened not just with the 31, but with the 11 of Fuson as well. And Fuson trying to hold on to that fourth position. Now the 5th position, lost it to Hollingsworth, trying to stay inside the top 5 ahead of Nick Kuhn, and cannot do that.
The Kuhn for the first time makes his way into the top 5. Jeff Hollingsworth into P4, chasing down Bob Beltrami. Charles Woods, meanwhile, really sticking to the back of Marty Ray as they come out of turn 4. Now this might be a good time for Charles Woods to just stay behind the SpaceX machine and just save his tires and fuel a little bit.
It might be that time, but I honestly, in these 6-7 weeks we've been doing these races, I can't remember the last time Charles Woods had a car that was this good. I'm pretty sure he's going to be going for the lead right here.
As we are very quickly approaching halfway into this race, we're already on lap 51, about to start lap 52. And even though we've had 3 cautions, it hasn't taken too long to get to the halfway point. I mean, it's only 107 laps, but still, it's been pretty quick here tonight so far.
It has. Official race time is just under 36 minutes. And again, with an hour and 40-minute time limit, that's looking really good up against that time limit there. Only 107 laps here tonight. It's we're looking good to finish on laps.
Yeah, we're looking good for green flag pit stops as things stay clean. As here comes Charlie Woods through the tri-oval, now going to look to the inside, goes to the apron as he comes back up on track right alongside Marty Ray. Going to dive it in through turns 1 and 2. Ray getting the better run out of turn 2 and might hold on but can't. Woods still right there as they come through the backstretch, and Woods will take over the leader. Bob Beltrami will follow his way through as well, up into second place.
Yeah, Beltrami got a really good run through 1 and 2. And oh, there goes Marty Ray. I think he got loose in the middle of 3 and 4 there. And he's bringing it to the pits, is Marty Ray.
Yeah, tyres have gone off for the 65, so he might call it down and have an early pit stop here. And I don't really blame him. Tyres do get eaten up at this track with the banking on the corners and through the backstretch as well. It's slightly banked, that backstretch, so it does affect the tyres as well.
It does hurt a little bit, and the reason why Woods was able to get into the lead the way he did was that 65 of Ray really powered up in the center and had to back off to keep from hitting the wall coming out of 2, and that was enough to get Ray to clear. Get Woods to clear Ray, but Woods right now is dealing with Bob Beltrami in a ton of ways right now.
Yeah, and Jeff Hollingsworth is back up there as well. He's found his way back up to 3rd place. Nick Kuhn up to P4, capitalising on the unfortunate incident for Marty Ray. Sean Signore, let's get an update on him. He's fallen all the way back to P9 with that damage on his number 17 as Hutchison into the wall. And this is going to be a problem now as they're getting older tyres. They're going to have to try and stay off that wall, but we've seen it a lot of times now. Signore, Marty Ray, and now Wayne Hutchison into the wall.
Yeah, and if this track responds in the same way that Kansas does, once you get into the wall, the car becomes very, very, very loose. I don't know if it was just the setup that we ran in Paskey's last night, or if it was a characteristic of these cars/trucks at night. running on tracks like this. But if it is the same, those guys are going to be dealing with a very, very loose truck until the pit stops.
So green flag pit stops are starting here. We're seeing Paul Hoffman in pit road there, just taking a fast repair himself. He's going to get some service there and get himself back out on track. 14.8 in the box, so not too bad there for the man in the Dale Senior throwback. As they come out of turn 4, we're looking at the leaders right now. Jeff Hollingsworth has moved his way up to second, and now will look to make a move on his friend, his good friend Charles Woods there as they come up towards turns 1 and 2. And Jeff Hollingsworth will move his way back up to the lead once again.
Yeah, fairly easily as well. You look a little bit further back. That battle for 4th place starting to rage with Nick Kuhn and Bentley Glazer. Now, I'm sure Kuhn is not all that happy right now, especially with the way Marty Ray entered pit road. They actually got together, did Kuhn and Ray, as Ray was trying to come off the top lane. So you could see a little bit of damage right in front of that right rear wheel well on that number 19 Skoll machine. I would not be surprised if he's still a little frustrated by that, and that damage might be hurting him.
Points leader Brian Barnes just coming out of pit road there, 15.1 in his box. He's made his green flag pit stop as we're losing one by one off the lead lap through these pit stops, so it's only going to be a matter of time before the leaders start pull the trigger and bring it down to pit road. There is still a massive battle here, and it's Dennis Fuson now looking to take that 4th place away from Nick Kuhn, and it absolutely does him through 1 and 2.
Yep, Jeff Schmeier trying to fend off Bentley Glazer right behind them, as we know from Paskey's how quick Bentley Glazer is, and he was really quick all night long last night, as now Schmeier trying to take it to the outside of the number 19 of Nick Kuhn, as Kuhn's got everything he could deal with on his outside and behind.
Yeah, and that damage looks like it might be starting to hurt him now, as he's now got Bentley Glazer right behind him. Glazer having a few connection problems here, so he is blinking a little bit. That's why we're not focused on him right now.
It's typical for Bentley Glazer. This is nothing new for him. Really frustrating when you're driving behind him, I must say.
Look at the gap that Jeff Hollingsworth has got in the field now. That is impressive.
Kuhn coming in the 19.
And Signore's in, David Wood is in, so now we've got people that have been in the top 10 making their way to pit road, and let's keep an eye on Marty Ray, because he was the first one down pit road. Is he going to take it? Is he going to get the undercut on some of these guys?
I'm not sure. He's on the back straightaway right now. He's the first truck behind Bentley Glazer. But I'm sure within these next couple laps, when you start seeing guys that you've been racing with and you start hearing them peel off into pit road, you got to react somewhat soon. Otherwise, you're going to be in a lot of trouble.
As here comes Marty Ray. He has passed all 3 of those drivers, so good run there for Ray. But if they have to do another pit stop here, which I'm guessing they might have to, as it looks like Rob Gall might be in pit road. Yes, he is. So he's the next one down. Marty Ray might be in a good position here, but he's going to have to... I think Jeff Hollingsworth can go at least another 4 or 5 laps. If my suspicion is correct, that he might have dropped back to save his tyres on that last restart.
Yeah, I think that is the case, and Jeff Schmeier now starting to work his way up, gets into 4th position, passing Dennis Fuson in the 11, but it's this top group of 6 that we're going to be watching here. Those 2 cars, the 2 black cars at the back, have already come into pit. It's the top 6 here that we're focused on, trying to see who's going to come into pit road. It's going to be Beltrami with Fuson following.
So Beltrami going to bring it down to pit road from 2nd place here. Dennis Fuson going to come in right behind him. And Fuson's been through a bit of trouble himself. Remember he ran onto the apron and got a bit loose there, so he's going to be happy to get new tyres here. But like I said, Hollingsworth might have a bit more in his pocket here, as Jeff Schmeier now to 2nd place after putting a move on Charles Woods there.
Yeah, and I wouldn't be surprised if these guys start to come in right now. Yep, you can see Hollingsworth starting to woe it down already. He's on the apron. Schmeier decides to stay out. Bentley Glazer in, and Bentley Glazer actually gets around Charles Woods on the entry to pit road. So a great pit entry for Bentley Glazer in the 87.
Busan only just leaving pit road there, so problems there for... No, he got a 14.5, so he didn't get a penalty, so no problems there for him as Hollingsworth hits his pit stall. Let's take a look at Jeff Schmeier now. We've got to think he's going to be bringing it in this time round, as he has the lead, and he's got Marty Ray in front of him. Ray has got back on the lead lap, as Schmeier makes a very late entry into pit road there, almost missing the whole thing altogether.
Yeah, I'm surprised that he would leave it as late as he did, being up in that front group. It's going to leave Wayne Hutchinson with the race lead. And Earl Weaver's in the infield grass here.
Oh, and he's going to get a penalty for that. He crossed that line into pit road. He is going to get a pretty hefty penalty for that one, and I'm guessing that's at least 36 seconds.
And he's slaloming down pit road, I think is the best we could say, and now he gets it straight.
Yeah, that's going to be a pretty big penalty for him, as looking back at Marty Ray, that early pit stop has really worked in his favour, as he's got a massive lead over William Fletcher now, who's already just been into pit road, and he's up to second place now. On paper, Ray Fournier has the lead now as Wayne Hutchinson brings it pit road. Now, Hutchinson has already burned his fast repairs, so he's either going to try and pit farm that as he makes the pit stops, and he's going to hope for a caution here and get some of that damage fixed. But Marty Ray really getting it right with that pit stop right there, Frank.
Yeah, as Fournier comes in now, it's the undercut of dreams for Marty Ray right now, as he's going to have 4 seconds back to William Fletcher. But here's the catch-22 with pitting as early as he did. He's going to have about 7 or 8 lap worse tires than the guys who we just saw come in. And just completely off topic, if you could have seen what I just saw on the Earl Weaver pit entry.
Yeah, that was pretty unfortunate there for...
It was not good.
I mean, he's just made it back out of pit road now, but he's just had to serve a pretty heavy penalty right there.
Yeah, that was... He decided he was going to go into pit road probably at the cut of the grass, the outside part of the grass in the tri-oval.
Now, William Fletcher starting to fall back here. He just got absolutely eaten alive by Hollingsworth and Beltrami. And now Bentley Glazer has found his way around the 28th. Sean Signore has found his way around. Problems for William Fletcher here. He's got a slow truck underneath him.
Yeah, Fletcher is also stuck on that outside lane right now, as that's Wayne Fleet in the 6, Rob Gall in the 31, Nick Kuhn is going to be there. I think he has damage on the right front.
He must have struck the wall somewhere, and he gets it. Wow, he's very close to the wall going through 3 and 4.
1 and 2.
1 and 2, yeah, there you go. 37 laps remaining.
Yeah, as here's Nick Kuhn, Jeff Schmeier is hanging out there as well. Beltrami right now, 2.6 seconds behind Marty Ray. He actually jumped Jeff Hollingsworth in the pit stops. So Marty Ray now hoping that the traffic of Fournier and Thrift can kind of help, as Hollingsworth trying to get second back from Beltrami right now.
That was right on board with Jeff Hollingsworth there as he moves to the inside of Kevin Thrift. And he's going to have Earl Weaver, and that's actually Fournier in front of him. As look at how much he's gaining on Marty Ray here. This is a pretty big move for Jeff Hollingsworth on fresh tyres. He's going to look to the inside of the 65 going through 1 and 2. Big move there for Hollingsworth as he moves back to the lead, and in convincing fashion as well. Look at Bentley Glazer moving his way up there as well.
Yeah, Glazer and Beltrami got really close going into 1. And for Marty Ray, there's really nothing you can do other than let them go at this point. He came in about 10 laps earlier than what the rest of the guys that just passed him did. So he's in a world of trouble. Great strategy if there was only about 5 or 6 laps left in the race, not when there's 40.
As that is your top 3 right there, Hollingsworth, Glazer and Beltrami. And this only serves to help out Beltrami with the points in mind, because Brian Barnes still back there in P11. He might get another position there if he can get up to the back of William Fletcher. Obviously, that number 28 is wounded, so he might have advantage of getting back into the top 10, but still quite a few positions behind that number 14 Beltrami machine.
Yeah, and there's only a 15-point gap between the two, so we might have a new points leader coming out of this race, as you're right, Barnes trying ever so slightly, ever so gingerly to try to wheel in Fletcher. Barnes ran a 31.9 last time. Fletcher was just a little bit quicker, marginally quicker that last time through, but it looks like Barnes is going to have him here in the next lap or so.
Signora moving up to P4 now after getting around Marty Ray. Ray thought he might have had the advantage there from making that early pit stop, but he's really seeing the consequences of that now, as there goes Rob Gall. Then we're going to have Schmeier going around him as well. Back down to P7. The biggest loser out of all those pit stops, though, is Charles Woods. He's all the way back in P8 now. Unfortunate there for the 40 Postal Service machine.
Yeah, he must have overslid the box, because there's really no reason for him to be as far back as he is without having made a mistake on the pit stop. And here comes Schmeier now trying to get it under Gall.
Yeah, as I'm just making some adjustments there. Anyway, Hollingsworth still just ahead of Bentley Glazer. This top three closer than they've ever been. Hollingsworth not able to pull away as much as he was just before the last round of pit stops. So Beltrami and Glazer looking to stay with him. And Fournier, even though he's a lap down, still able to stay with these guys as well. He's on the freshest tyres out of all those four.
Yeah, and this is where Bentley Glazer becomes really, really dangerous. He's seen what his truck can do on a full fuel run, on a full length run on tires. He knows now how much harder he could push it, or if he has to back it off a little bit. That 87 right now is very, very dangerous and very, very threatening to the 97 right now.
Yep, as we're still about 29 laps ahead before the end of this race, so still a lot more racing left to do here, as Glazer really looking to the back of Hollingsworth, going through 1 and 2 here, as any one of this top three can win the race here. They have got such a big gap over Jeff Schmeier, who's up to P4 now.
Yeah, 4-second gap between the back end of Beltrami's number 14 and the front end of Schmeier's car, as these three have pulled away. And I'm actually very surprised, pleasantly surprised, that Ray Fournier has been being able to stick with these guys. Fournier we have not seen him up in the front. We haven't talked about him much since we started broadcasting here, but this should be a very big confidence booster for Fournier, able to stick up here with three of the fastest guys that Western States has to offer.
Yeah, and he's staying right behind Beltrami here, as looks like Beltrami is starting to lose a bit of time to Glazer and Hollingsworth there, as you're right, Fournier able to stay with these guys, and unfortunately not able to do anything about it. He's trying to get his lap back the hard way. He's going to need a caution to do that and get the lucky dog, but doesn't really have the pace to get around these guys. But I'm guessing that he's going to be hoping for a caution to come out before this race is over, as we are 26 laps to go, 25 at the line. Fournier's running out of time. If he wants to get that lap back the hard way, he's going to have to really push the issue a bit more here.
Yeah, he is, but he's also sitting in a pretty good spot right now. He is the lucky dog, and Fournier, having run a 31.9 last lap, David Weaver ran a 31.8 dead. He's fighting with Wayne Hutchinson right now. They're still a little ways away from getting lapped, so Fournier is not necessarily in a desperate position right now.
You see there the battle between Weaver and Hutchison. Hutchison still carrying that damage on his truck as he's got Weaver to his inside coming out of turn 2. And they're coming up, I believe that is Kevin Thrift they're coming up on. I'm noticing there's been a lot of problems here for Keith Kelman. I've seen him go in and out of pit road quite often as here comes Bentley Glazer now to the inside of Hollingsworth coming through 3 and 4, and Glazer is your new race leader here. And it was only a matter of time, really, wasn't it?
Yes, it really was. As Hollingsworth, I think, is going to take this time to save some tires a little bit here. Sitting behind the 87, and that was Hoffman in the 3 that those guys were catching. Thrift has called it a night, unfortunately, in number 66.
And I think Keith Coleman might be the next one because he's been in and out of pit road quite a bit over the past 10 laps as we are 23 laps to go. As all very close to the wall was Hollingsworth right there as they come across the line. Now 22 laps to go in this race. Hollingsworth really on the ragged edge here as he now has Beltrami right on his tailgate.
Yeah, and I think Beltrami might be sitting in the best spot here. He's been able to just ride with these guys, hasn't forced the issue at all since Hollingsworth got past him before they were even battling for the lead. That was just a battle for second then. Beltrami's just been hanging out here. I wouldn't be surprised if he's got the best tire situation out of all these guys right now.
Short run pit stops going on so they can make it to the end here. We've got Brian Barnes in pit road. We've got the pole sitter Marty Ray in pit road for his second and final stop here. They can make it from here. So Marty Ray trying to get that undercut that he had last time. I don't think he's going to get it this time, though. He was way too far back as they both go a lap down. So Ray Fournier still in an ideal spot here as he's still riding right behind the leaders as Bob Beltrami up to second place now ahead of Hollingsworth.
Yeah, it was right on cue. Right as I had finished, Beltrami had went on the outside lane for Hollingsworth and took that second position. Hollingsworth, I think, might have done the same thing that we were talking about Schmeier doing and that we were talking about Signore doing during the last run. Might have used those tires a little too much, staying out in the lead a little too long.
20 laps to go here, and that'll give us an opportunity to mention our Teespring store here on ESPN. Make sure you take a look in the description below and visit the website. Take a look what we have on offer, and if you decide to buy something from our Teespring store, make sure you put in the promo code ESPN20. That will give you free shipping if you live in the US of A. And we will have some new items coming soon, given the fact that we are running some new leagues here, so they're going to need some exposure from us, so we will have some new items coming soon, and look for a new promo code coming soon with a possible money off exclusive here. So check out the link, see what we have on offer, and yeah, it really helps the channel if you grab something off there. So why not take a look and make sure you if you like something, just we hope you enjoy it anyway. And also make sure you check out the Twitter page. We do keep regular updates on what's going on with the channel and what's coming up, and so make sure you click the link on there. Give us a follow on Twitter as well, and make sure you give us a like and follow on Facebook as well. And if you're new to YouTube, make sure you give us a like and subscribe and hit the little bell for notifications when we go live again. 17 laps to go. That took me 3 laps to say all that.
Yeah, you did a fantastic job. And you mentioned a couple of new things that could possibly be coming to the Teespring store. More on that after the post-race.
Yeah, as we do have a big announcement. Make sure you check us out on Saturday. We have the season-ending race for the E-Formula Series. The Formula 3.5s heading to Spa. And I don't know about you, Frank, but I am really, really looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I am definitely getting giddy for that one. That's going to be a really good one. They raced at Monza 2 weeks ago. It was a really good race. Would not be surprised. A little bit earlier than what we normally run here. It's going to be 1 o'clock Eastern time, 1 p.m. Eastern time for the E-Formula Series at Spa-Francorchamps.
Yeah, and Paul Ilbrink claiming the championship last time out of Monza. We didn't know that at the time, but we will put more focus on it, but there is a fight for the Constructors' Championship, so we will be looking to see who can bring that home this coming Saturday. Make sure you check that one out. Wednesday and Thursday, we have a pretty free schedule, so I know they have the Stars League on Thursday with Tony Trapasso. Yeah. Friday, we are headed to Talladega in the ARCA cars for the iRacing East Series. New damage model. That is going to be interesting. Let's just say that.
Yeah, this is also this fight up here at the front is going to get interesting because Hollywood just made a look to the outside of Beltrami. There's the 3 of Hoffman. Started up in P6, got into an accident on the first lap. Now starting to shuffle things up a little bit, and that's going to be a tense moment for Fournier because now that puts the 3 as the first truck off the lead lap.
It was a pretty good segue. I like that one. Anyway, this lead pack, yeah, I know. This lead pack have not brought it down pit road yet. Bentley Glazer, Bob Beltrami, Jeff Hollingsworth, Jess Schmeier, Sean Signori, Charles Woods, Rob Gall, Dennis Fuson, Nick Kuhn, David Weaver, Wayne Hutchison have not brought it down pit road as yet. Everybody else has, including William Fletcher, who's come out right in between Brian Barnes and Mike Ray. And if the lead pack decides to stay out to the end and try and make it to the end here, this is really going to hurt Brian Barnes in the points, with especially with Beltrami in second place right now.
Yeah, it is, and this is for this top 3 here. This is going to be if if you think you can make it, you're going to go as long as you possibly can, and if you can't, we're going to stop. We're going to splash and go a little bit later. As there goes Hollingsworth for second place on Beltrami. As I think Beltrami, I'm sure he wants to finish as high as he possibly can, but I'm sure Beltrami is also points racing as well, knowing that Barnes has been mired in the back of the field all night long.
Hoffman in pit road now, bringing it down for his final stop of the night. He can't make it to the end here as, like you said, Hollingsworth up to second place. But those two battling has let Bentley Glazer get away ever so slightly. But I'm pretty sure if they have to stop again, it's all going to be for naught anyway. So, you know.
Yeah, I think if my memory serves me correctly, I believe it was Hollingsworth stayed out the longest of this trio. You can back me up on that one if you can.
Hollingsworth and Glazer pit at the same time.
Okay, so they have better tires.
Glazer in the wall!
Oh, yeah, he was.
Oh my goodness me, what a big upset there for the 87. He was looking in a strong position, had about 3 or 4 car lengths over Jeff Hollingsworth, and has pretty much thrown it away at this point by slamming the wall, and for a good 100 yards or so he was in that wall. So that's going to have some significant effect on that Chevrolet.
Yeah, all I can say is I know that feeling, and it's not a good feeling. Just drove it a little too hard on the exit of turn 2, which is really, really easy to do, especially here at Chicago. Now we're going to see how badly that damage has affected that car, and we're going to see if this brings new vigor and new life to Beltrami's race now, knowing he's racing for a win, not just second.
And I know you guys deal in feet, not yards, but, you know, me and my imperial system, my God. Or is it metric system? I don't know.
I honestly, no, we're imperial, you're metric,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I didn't even notice what you said. I heard you said that. I heard you say 100. I didn't hear what you said.
I said 100 yards, not feet. So, you know.
Well, yards is imperial as well.
I was never good at physics, so, you know. Anyway, let's go back to Sean Signori. We're not really seeing much of him since the pit stops, as he's... we caught him in a good time because he really had a big slide for life coming out of turn 4. He's in a pretty big battle there with Charles Woods, Rob Gall, and Dennis Fuson just holding on. No, it's not Dennis Fuson. That's just Rob Gall and Charles Woods. Never mind.
Yeah, no, that's Barry Phil behind them, and Phil is 2 laps down in 17th right now.
So, Phil just doing what Fournier's been doing with the lead pack. Just staying with a couple of leaders there as here comes Charles Woods to the inside. Oh, Signori, and if Signori can pull this one off, this will be another great move in what has been a brilliant race there for the 40. As he's got the nose out in front coming across the line, he does get the position. Can he finish off the move going through 1 and 2? The answer is no. Signori really using that high line to his advantage there.
Yes, Signore rolling the center really, really well there. And that 40 of Woods was also going into turn 1. He wasn't only focusing on trying to pass Signore, he was trying to defend from Rob Gall as well. So a little bit of multitasking there for the 40, as I think he's going to have it going into turn 1 here. No, he doesn't take the apron.
No,
taking the apron, I think he would have had it.
Yeah, but he doesn't, so unfortunate there. But 5 laps to go here. Jeff Hollingsworth, your leader, and he has absolutely left Beltrami behind.
Yeah, he has, and that's unfortunate. I think Beltrami right now is fully focused on championship racing right now, which is a good thing. Unfortunately, it doesn't help us with the battle for the win. But right now, Hollingsworth is going to have to contend with some sort of traffic, as there's Burns in the 04, slowing them down. There's the 16, the 21 is in there as well.
We do have a battle brewing for 3rd place, though. The wounded 87 truck of Bentley Glazer has Jeff Schmeier really bearing down on him now as they come out of turn 4 with 3 laps to go. Can Schmeier do it before this is over? I think this is going to be a walk in the park there for the 22, because that 87 is just way too hurt to even challenge. As there we go, Schmeier up to 3rd place now.
Yeah, but I think Beltrami might be saving a little bit, knowing that that 22 is coming, and he's coming hard. And that 87 of Glazer, unfortunately, just one mistake, and that just completely destroyed his race.
Yeah, and he's just lost the podium spot out of it. He's staying with Schmeier, but not able to put him under any pressure, as with the popsicle sticks are out. Jeff Hollingsworth only has 2 more circulations, and he will have his first race win of the season. Well, since we've started broadcasting anyway, for this league under his belt, and this is going to continue a fantastic week for the man in the 97. Got the win yesterday in Paskies, and he only has 1 more lap to go here as the white flag comes out to get his 2nd race win of the week here. And it's pretty academic. He's about 2-3 seconds ahead of Bob Beltrami now. He's started his week off pretty well here, Frank.
I would say so. You can't really go too far south with 2 wins as he comes through 3 and 4 here. He's got to keep it straight at this stage.
As he comes out of turn 4, Jeff Hollingsworth comes through the trial for the final time, and Jeff Hollingsworth wins at Chicagoland. Bob Beltrami will be happy with his 2nd place, as he will more than likely get the points lead after this one. Jeff Schmeier just taking Bentley Glazer for 3rd place at the end, as the 87 making that one mistake, as we've already mentioned, dropping back to P4, and Sean Signore will round out your top 5 here. And Frank, a bit of a rocky start, but we got it to the end there, only on 3 cautions. Not too shabby for these guys.
Yeah, no, it was an absolutely fantastic race and a bunch of great racing up at the front. I think the guys were a little over anxious up at the front after the race they had at Milwaukee last week. Just being able to be around other cars and being able to put on a race, got it sorted out, and just made a fantastic race out of it to the end.
Now, I'm not sure if we're able to get a word in with Jeff Hollingsworth. I'm not seeing him in the Discord channel, so I'm not sure if we're going to get an interview with the race winner. I could be wrong. I've been wrong before. Yeah. Oh no, Jeffro 97. I can see him right there.
Yeah, not try to get them in as you see the customary burn down.
Yep. Well, I haven't. I can't see it because I've got him paused. But anyway, let's go to As you see the race winner right there, that is Jeff Hollingsworth. Burning them down, as you said. And he's finished it right on the racing line. That's a pretty fortunate place to finish his burnout. So not too shabby, as we're still waiting for drivers to get into Discord. And yeah, very fun race as oh, there's a new WSRL channel. I've just noticed. No. As we're going to bring in third place here, Jeff Schmeier, who finished in third, and oh no, and Frank, I believe you got in there now.
I do. Jeff Schmeier, Frank Marchese, ESPN, you got us?
I got you.
All right, well, we'll actually be able to hear your interview this week after last week's misfortune. But a great race that you ran towards the end of this, got out of that last pit stop way ahead of the rest of the pack and just managed the tires incredibly well, and you got a podium out of it.
Yeah, that was my plan the entire race, especially at the beginning when everyone was starting to get a little crazy. I just decided to just kind of fade away a little bit, manage my tires, and seemed to work out.
So, were you surprised? Did you know that Glazer had damage at all, or were you just as surprised to get around him as easily as you did?
Yeah, I knew about it. I was in a chat with Bob, and Bob said he smacked the wall. So I was, at that point, I already thought I was just going to get fourth. But when I heard about that, I tried to get back on it to try and catch him.
So, starting in second as you did, I'm sure third place is just as well, as two very solid podium finishes the last 2 weeks. I'm sure heading into next week, it's a big confidence boost.
Yeah, definitely. I was, especially the first half of the season, I was not doing good at all, just having bad luck and making mistakes. So it's nice to come back from that week break and start fresh and start racing good again.
All right. Anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
Yeah, I'll say hi to my parents. They're probably stayed up and watched, and my girlfriend probably stayed up and watched. Say hi to them. Love you guys. And my team, of course.
All right. Your third place finisher tonight, Jeff Schmeier. Congratulations, bud.
Thank you, sir.
I nearly moved myself out of the chat then. That was Jeff Schmeier joining us in the booth there. Let's go to the man that finished second. That will be Bob Beltrami. Bob, Sam up in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, I do. How are you guys doing tonight?
Not too bad at all. What a great race you guys had out there tonight. Second place for yourself, though. And it's going to close that gap between you and Brian Barnes at the top there after that one.
Yeah, I got a pretty good finish compared to Brian, so that should shore up a few points for me in the championship, eh? That's good stuff. But man, it was a fun race tonight. I'll tell you what.
Yeah, a bit of a shaky start though. 3 early cautions by a couple of mistakes from drivers at the back there. Bit frustrating to not really get things going at the start there.
Yeah, maybe a bit. I think the guys, they're chomping at the bit to get going, and you got 107 laps ahead, so you want to get in there and get, positions as early as you can, so patience is at a minimum, but it seemed like everybody kind of found their rhythm, got into single line, and off we went, even though, boy, there was a lot of side-by-side racing. Holy cow.
We saw 4 wide at one point, so yeah, a lot of close racing amongst the people, especially the people that finished in the top 10 here tonight. But long run pace here, Bob. Jeff kind of left you behind at the end there. Were you feeling the tires at the end there?
Yeah, I was disappointed. I was, we were right there together as a threesome, and all of a sudden Bentley made that, a rare mistake. So, we're up there taking advantage of that, and all of a sudden Jeff just left me in the dust, and I just couldn't keep up with him. What can I say? I used up my tires, and that was the end of that, huh?
Yeah, great, but a great finish for yourself, and definitely got to be proud. And I'm pretty sure with the gap between yourself and Brian Barnes, that 15-point gap will have come down quite significantly. If not, I reckon you might have taken over the points lead here tonight.
Yeah, well, that's nice. That's nice. But there's still a lot of racing to go in the season, and boy, it's been fun so far. So hopefully, got more ahead.
Yeah, and speaking of the future races, next week we head to Homestead. What are your thoughts going to the trickiest 1.5 mile on the calendar?
Boy, Homestead is one of those races that sometimes we have some fabulous racing there, and otherwise it's a bit of a caution fest. So it's a bit of a toss-up. I'm gonna, as usual, I give the guys a bit of a pre-race pep talk, and hopefully they'll take it to heart, and we'll have some green flag racing for you guys.
Yeah, awesome, and we've been enjoying it so far since we took you guys on, and we definitely enjoy the racing around here. But before I let you go, Bob, anyone you want to give a shout out to, say thanks to before you go and celebrate your second place?
Oh, heck, I don't even know where to start. Jeff was a great win, great finish to the race. Was sorry to see Bentley have his difficulties, and beyond that, my teammate Jeff Schmeier came in third, and off we go, eh?
Absolutely. Well, Bob, congratulations on your second place and possibly getting the points lead there for after tonight. Great seeing you out there. Great run for yourself, and we will hopefully you have another good run next week when we head to Homestead.
Thanks, guys. It's been great having you broadcasting us and really enjoying it.
No problem. So that was second place, Bob Beltrami. Let's get a word in with the man of the moment, shall we? As Jeff Hollingsworth comes up to the booth, and I believe, Frank, you're with him right now.
I thought I had him up here.
He's up here. He's up here.
Oh, he is? All right. Jeff Hollingsworth, Frank Marchese in the ESPN booth. You hear me, bud?
Yes, sir. How you doing, Frank? What's up, Sam?
What's up?
Doing good. So 2 races this week. Paskey's last night. Here, Western States tonight. Both at very similar racetracks at Kansas and Chicago. And wouldn't you know it, 2 wins. You started your week off about as well as you could.
Yeah, it was fun. It's been a good week so far. I hope to keep out rolling.
So earlier in the race, we saw you kind of fall back, save tires. You started the first pit cycle with the race lead. You come out, you're in a group with Beltrami and Glazer. Did you fall back and let Glazer lead just so he could try to burn the tires off and you could save him, or was Glazer just that much quicker than you?
Well, at the beginning when I fell back, when you were talking about that cluster we were in, it just didn't look safe, man. To be honest, I was like, I don't know about this. So I just told Charlie, my teammate in Bentley, I'm like, I'm gonna just hang out and then it sorted itself out and that was cool and I don't like you said I went in leading and then when Bentley went by me we were talking and I said, man, I'm just having the hardest time with you right behind me. It was just getting loose right in the middle of 3 and 4, just a little bit, and I said the arrow. And then when Bob got behind me, he did the same thing. So, he got a good run and I didn't even fight him, let him go and just kind of rode it out. And I do think that kind of saved my tires a little bit more where I had something there, but I did capitalize off a rare Bentley Glazer mistake. So that was pretty cool too.
So I'm assuming saving your tires then helped you just absolutely once you did capitalize on that mistake, just bang and run away from Beltrami. You gained 3 seconds in a matter of about 4 or 5 laps. That car must have really been ticking after that.
Once you got that clean air, it just drives better, and I was able to click off some laps. I don't know how much tire I saved. I know I saved a little bit more than those guys, but it just the car just handled better, and I was able to put some really good laps down.
Think you win this race if Bentley doesn't make the mistake?
Said we were talking. He says, I don't know. I think you might have had something. He says when he took the lead, he felt the looseness too, and that means that right rear's getting mad at you. So I don't know, but I'm just having fun racing. I like a great race like that with a few cautions and a lot of green flag stops. That's my kind of thing. And if anytime I can finish behind Bentley or Charlie or any of my other teammates is a good day for me. So I would have took whatever, but I definitely liked winning. That's awesome.
Going into Homestead next week, what are your thoughts about going into a rather difficult oval?
Homestead is one of my favorites. I'm hoping it feels like it used to in the trucks. I haven't been on it in the trucks in a little while, and I'm just going to give it heck, man. I think it'll be a good race. This is a good group of guys. Like you saw, once we got it sorted out, we didn't have very many cautions at all. And just a lot of fun, which is why I'm here. Bob really puts on a good league.
All right, and anyone you want to thank before we let you go?
Well, of course, I want to thank you, Frank the Tank, and Sam Cooper for putting this, and appreciate Bob, like I said, for putting on this league. My teammates Charlie and Bentley and Ron, who's not here, Robert and Troy. Just say hey to those fellers, and that's it, man. I hope everybody stays safe, has a good rest of your week.
All right, your winner here tonight at Chicagoland, Jeff Hollingsworth. Congratulations, bud.
Thank you, my friend. I'll catch you guys later. Have a good one.
You too.
So that was Jeff Hollingsworth joining us in the booth there. And before we go anywhere, Frank, just another great show from these guys tonight. 27 drivers showed up. And in all honesty, we still had, I believe it was 22 that still finished. Not a bad attrition rate.
Yeah, no, not bad at all. And some of them were just unfortunate mistakes. Like Kevin Thrift got caught up in something that wasn't his fault. Carl Burke had a really good truck tonight, got caught up in something that wasn't his fault. Dan Stussy had his throughput issues. So, I mean, all in all, it was a very, very good night of racing. Crazy at the beginning, but we saw it settle down and spread out, and it was still wild and crazy action, and the pit stop strung everything out even more. And we got a nice three-way battle for the lead down to like the last 5 laps or so. It was a very, very entertaining night here at Chicago.
Absolutely, as we are getting ready to get out of here tonight. Fantastic run from these guys here at Chicagoland. Before we do anything else, let's get the results out the way, if I can find the right music, because there we go. I'm going to turn that down a little bit. As we bring up the results for this one here tonight, and coming home with the win here was Jeff Hollingsworth, as we already saw. Bob Beltrami coming home in second and possibly taking away that points lead from Brian Barnes. We'll get to that in a second. Jeff Schmeier in third, fourth to Bentley Glazer, fifth to Sean Signore, sixth to Charles Woods, seventh to Rob Gall, eighth going to Dennis Fuzon. Nick Kuhn, after a good start, falling back to P9, and Wayne Hutchinson, after the trouble he's been through, coming home in P10. P11 going to David Weaver, and P12 going to Ray Fournier. Good run he had tonight, staying with the leaders there, Frank.
Yeah, without a doubt. And William Fletcher, who started in third place, unfortunately got some damage after the pit stops, fell all the way back to 13th, finishing 1 lap down. Wayne Fleet finishing 14th. Brian Barnes 15th, Marty Ray 16th. Those guys finishing 1 lap down. 17 through 20 was Paul Hoffman, Barry Phil, Earl Weaver, and David Wood. Those guys finishing 2 laps down. Eric Woods finishing in 21st, 3 laps down. Dustin Burns 5 laps down in 22nd position. 23rd was Keith Kellman. Did not finish in the 07. I'm sorry, he did finish in the 07. 16 laps down in 23rd. Kevin Thrift, Carl Burke, Jerry Sterner, and Dan Stussy all not finishing the race here tonight, finishing 24th through 27th.
So that is the results here for this one. Before we go, we do have a bit of an announcement here, Frank. I'll let you lead with that one.
Without a doubt, and we have had a lot of changes here at the channel, here at the network recently. We've seen some leagues fall by the wayside, and we're starting to recover some of those leagues that we had once lost. And one of those leagues that we just got, and we are incredibly excited about, is the MPI Cup Series. We will be broadcasting them starting this Sunday at Michigan. Those broadcasts will start at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So all of us here at ESPN would like to bid a warm welcome to the MPI Cup Series, which will be debuting on the channel here, with both Sam and I calling it. this Sunday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time.
Also coming up on October 7th, we do have another new IndyCar League coming to you here on ESPN. We have Sim Racers Edge coming to the channel starting on October 7th. So if you are enjoying the IndyCar content we bring to the channel, we have even more for you starting next month, and definitely going to be interested in that one. They have the Alpha IndyCar Series coming to us, this one, and on the Thursday, on the 8th of October, they'll be bringing the Bravo Series as well. The ProMaster 18 coming to the screens there. Frank, another exciting league coming to the channel now.
Yeah, without a doubt, and that was exactly what I was just talking about. We're losing leagues, but we're gaining some as well. We had unfortunately had to drop Top Fuel at the end of last week's race. This new league here, this is a lot of the guys that you're going to recognize, not just from Top Fuel recent, but Top Fuel past as well, are coming back and starting up this league, and we're going to be replacing Top Fuel with this new series. So there's going to be a lot of familiar names. If you were fans of them in Top Fuel, you're going to find them here as well.
Yeah, and with that, those little bombshells we've been dropping, that is going to do it for us here tonight on ESPN. Another fantastic event and another race that we've enjoyed up in the booth, and I know they enjoyed it down on the track, as they've already mentioned. But that is pretty much it for us here tonight. Don't forget, we'll be back on Thursday with Tony Trapasso in the booth for the Stars Racing League. Definitely going to be one to look forward to. The Figure 8 Championship in the Jetta and the MX-5. Definitely a series that's up and coming here. Friday, we'll be back with the iRacing E-Series as they had to Daytona, not Talladega. They were at Talladega last week. Yes. In the ARCA cars. So, like I said, new damage model, nice wrecks. We usually get those nice wrecks on iRacing E-Series, so we always look forward to that one. Saturday, we are back with the E-Formula Series as they finish off their season at Spa, and later that night as well, we have NASCAR Online, and as we already mentioned, we have the MPI Cup Series starting off here on ESPN. That broadcast set to kick off around 9:30-ish Eastern, so make sure you check that one out. But for now, that is it for us here up in the ESPN booth. We are going to get out of here, and I'm going to try and get some sleep because it's nearly 5 a.m. for me. From myself, Sam Cooper Bennett, from Frank Marchese in the booth, all that's left for me to say is keep it clean, keep it green, and we will see you tomorrow night live with Tony Trapasso in the booth for the Stars Racing League. Have a good night. Not tomorrow night, Thursday night. Yeah, that.